on a Saturday night talking fantasy football 2021. Today we're doing something a little special. We're doing a name game Q&A. A name game Q&A. We'll let people file in, and I'm going to explain it hopefully one or two times versus 100. But we're playing a game tonight. It's called the name game, a rapid fire name game. You throw two names at me, I tell you what name I like better and why. And I'll tell you both redraft and dynasty, and we'll just kind of file through name after name. So get ready. McCoy, Isaac, good to see you in here. The Instagram community is going to be filing in a second. I went live, told everybody that we were going to be breaking down some fantasy football. So you guys will be getting notified right now. Mike Davis, ETN. I'll kick it off real quickly, bro. I'm going to say ETN Dynasty, and I'm going to say, God, that's close. I'm going to say ETN redraft, but barely. I like both, bro. I like both. YouTube, we're here on YouTube. What's up, Brian? I went on Instagram Live and I'm like, guys, I'm going to be over on YouTube. Like, couldn't even get it out. So now we're calling it the YouTube. We're going to do the name game. You throw two names at me. I tell you who I like better. I'll tell you redraft and dynasty. First two are Mike Davis and ETN. I'm going to say dynasty, ETN by a mile, because 28-year-old running back known as Mike Davis doesn't have a whole grip of time left, even though he has low mileage, kind of low mileage. He's an old body, old knees, old joints, old ligaments. Your ligaments don't preserve themselves inside your knee just because you're 28 years old and haven't used them. I'm taking a redraft as well. I like Mike Davis a lot. I think that could bite me. That could come back to bite me because I think he could do pretty well. But I worry about the usage and will he be minimal? Will he be like a low flex player anyway? And to weather through ETNs, getting used to being used at the NFL level and seeing what they do with him in Jacksonville. I'm gonna bet that by midseason he's firing on all cylinders. Keenan Allen. I like this one. McLaurin, Keenan Allen. I'm going to say, do rapid fire. Let's roll through it. McLaurin, Dynasty, tie, redraft. Because I think McLaurin's going to be fire, and he can be low-end wide receiver one material, and Keenan Allen's going to be balling it out, but I don't know how much time he has. So clear Dynasty advantage to McLaurin, but tie and redraft. Tunyon, Irv Smith. Give me Tunyon across the board. Redraft and Dynasty, although I do like Irv Smith, I could have my mind changed with a little production from that man. But Tunyon at 11 TDs last year, he's not like a spring chicken, but he's not an old man. I think he could definitely have a couple years left, and I do predict Aaron Rodgers stays. Jamar Chase and Julio, obviously in Dynasty, Jamar Chase by a mile. He's a top 5 to 6 wide receiver potentially for me in Dynasty for the future. Julio's an old man. Redraft, I'm going to go Jamar Chase too. I think Julio's about to take a step down. We don't know where he's even going. If he does get traded at all, he could go to the Niners and be used sparingly, at least in terms of what people expect out of him. I think Jamar Chase drops a similar season to Justin Jefferson, but kind of balanced differently. So instead of 1,400 yards and 7 TDs, I bet he has 10, 11 TDs and 1,100 yards, but he has a similar impact of a season. Pollard, Hines, give me Pollard. I know that Hines might get a little more now production, but give me Pollard, and Pollard, especially in Dynasty. If Zeke falls off this year, Pollard could be in a good position. But give me Pollard and redraft as well. Najee Harris and Clyde. Give me Najee across the board. I love Clyde. It's really hard for me to say that, but I'm a pretty unbiased person when it comes to fantasy football. I know how to not dig my heels in. You guys think I dig my heels in sometimes. I don't. I love Clyde. Clyde's a 3.5 round guy. And for what he is at 3.5, 3.4, 4.1, he is a home run. But Najee Harris I draft in the first round in Dynasty, and Najee Harris I draft at the top of round 2 if I have to, and you don't have to. He falls to the bottom of round 2, but I would take him easily at 2.1 if I have to. Push come to shove. What's up, Ian? Cup or Lockett? I'm gonna probably say. Oh God, you guys are gonna hate this, but I think I say Lockett for both. Cup. I want to say tie. I'm gonna say tie. Tie for Lockett and Cup and redraft. Give me Give me a tie in redraft and dynasty. We don't really know what's in store for Cup. We think he's probably going to get, you know, potentially high end wide receiver 2 or low end wide receiver 2 numbers. Lockett feels like a high end wide receiver 3, but potentially could play like a 2. But neither one of them feels like a high end wide receiver 2. Tough call. Waddle, Devontae Smith. Give me Smith across the board, but especially so in Dynasty. Like Smith is top 5 to 6 in Dynasty. Waddle's not there for either redraft or Dynasty, especially redraft. But this one's not even close. Smitty, how high you drafting Gibson? That's not what we're doing, Kyle. That's not what we're doing. We're doing face-off, name game, 2 players, toss them out. But Kyle, I'm going to answer you anyways because that's how I roll. Redraft or drafting him 15 if we have to. Gaskin or Hunt. Give me Hunt in both Dynasty and redraft. And part of me says that because I don't believe that Gaskin's got more starting years ahead of him just because Hunt feels a little more used or whatever. I think they both are going to probably have a similar shelf life. I like Hunt a little better for the now, so I lean Hunt. Gaskin or Clyde? Clyde by a mile, Noah. Noah, you're not going to probably like that, but what do you like that I say anymore? Clyde by a mile. Clyde is still a top 5 to 10 running back, in my opinion. Clydey boy in redraft and dynasty because Clyde's just getting going. Not that Gaskin might not be, but I don't know that he's a guy that could get replaced, you know, in a year or two. I don't know that he's going to hold Miami from drafting a running back every single year that they get presented with a big name they could throw in there. They almost drafted a running back this year. They didn't. I think it would be hopeful and a tall order for them to come out of 2022 without drafting a running back. Brady or Herbert? Give me Herbert across the board. I love Brady, but Herbert's my number 3 in redraft. You can imagine he's probably my number 3 in dynasty. Gibson or Harris? Give me Gibson in dynasty by a long shot because I have Harris. I'm sorry. Give me Harris in dynasty by a long shot. Harris I have in my top, 6 to 7, 8 overall in dynasty, and I have him at 2.1 if I have to. You don't have to. I repeat, you don't have to take Harris at 2.1, but I would. Don't tell anybody. Don't tell the ADPs. Don't tell the consensus. Don't tell anybody, but I take him at 2.1 if I have to. Gibson's still 15-ish, 15 to 20 in Dynasty redraft across the board. So easy call for me, Harris, but I love both. Jacobs or Melvin Gordon? The answer to that is neither. Ridley or A.J. Brown? Tie and redraft with a little – no, tie. Tie and redraft. Tie. A.J. Brown because he's younger in Dynasty, but these guys – either one of them could be the number 1 wide receiver in 2021. Jefferson could be the number 1. A.J. Brown could be the number 1. Ridley could be the number 1. Hill, Devontae, Diggs could be the number 1. There are literally like 5 or 6 wide receivers that are so warranted in that conversation. Redraft, Cam Akers or Mixon. I'm going to say Cam Akers in both. And I do have my doubts about both these guys at their current ADP. You could say that ADP. No, I'm going to say Akers in both. I was going to say Mixon, if he falls far enough, he's kind of worth it in redraft maybe. But no, I'm going to go Akers across the board, and that's me having a little bit of a worry there. You're telling us to take Judy round 6 and avoid Deontay. I'm going to need some reasoning. You talking to me? You talking to me, bro? I like Judy. I don't know that I've taken Judy in round 6. Have I? Have I told you to take him for sure in round 6? I think we did a bunch of mock drafts the other night, and I kept in redraft trying to wait to get him a little bit later. But I would probably pay that in Dynasty. And if you want my reasoning, I don't think it's that crazy, bro. Number 1, Deontay's, you could argue, the number 1 on his team. You could. But you could also argue that Deontay's the number 3. And don't give me that, oh, yeah, I'm a Deontay fan. How do you say that? He's a target hog. How can you say that about my boy Deontay? Look, Juju and Claypool, you have to be crazy to not be able to admit that Juju and Claypool both could be argued as the number 1. in Pittsburgh. You literally have three guys that are all equally vying for the number one, not the number two, not the number two and number three. They're all vying for the number one spot in that Pittsburgh offense that's diminishing in the passing game. They're all vying for it. So you ask me, how can I say Judy if you're even talking to me? How can you say Judy over Deontay? That alone. Not to mention, Big Ben is the reason Deontay was peppered with a bunch of targets, volume hog. What happens when he goes away? You're talking about Dynasty, bro. We didn't even know Big Ben would return this year. So what happens if Big Ben goes? The entire offense falls apart. And you're thinking Deontay Johnson's going to somehow survive? I don't think so, bro. I don't think so. It's Jerry Jeudy for me. Jerry Jeudy has the potential off of my eyeballs alone. If you want a reasoning, eyeballs alone, potential to be a top 10 wide receiver. Multiple D-backs in the NFL, multiple D-backs have said Jerry Jeudy is the best route runner in the entire NFL, and they're saying that after his rookie year. Multiple, repeat that for you, for those of you in the back, especially Noah, because Noah's hard of hearing, because I think he's really 90 years old. He says he's a young kid, but he's as bitter as an old man. For you in the back, Noah, Jerry Jeudy, multiple D-backs say he's the best route runner in the NFL. Multiple. So why is there no hype on Ruggs but still hype on Jeudy? Kyle, are you not hearing what I'm saying, bro? Multiple D-backs have said the best route runner in the NFL. Are you hearing that about Ruggs? Do you need any more information? Have I proven my point yet? Have I proven my point yet? Ayuk or JK? And Grossman, I'm not mad at you, bro. And whoever asked that, Ian or whoever asked that, you know you're my boy. You know I'm just defending Jerry Jeudy here. Deontay gets targets, but he's an elite route runner. He's an elite. Deontay's a good player, bro, but he's still got three. There's three people that are just like him on that team. Where Sutton's coming off ACL surgery. No one can say he's coming to take Jerry Jeudy's kung fu grip on the number one wide receiver role. And granted, I don't like Denver's passing situation any more than I like a sharing situation in Pittsburgh. But Jerry Jeudy, to me, is an elite talent on a whole different level. Deontay and Jerry Jeudy, talent-wise, not even close in my mind. Not even close. But I'm not mad at you if you like Deontay more. If you think Deontay's going to get peppered with targets again and Big Ben's still going to have a whole lot left, like, that's an opinion. And I'm okay with that. Okay, get back on target. Two names. We're doing rapid fire. Two names. Go. Hit me with two names. Devontae Smith and Jamar Chase. Oh, God, this is a tough one. I'm going to say Jamar Chase, redraft. Tie in Dynasty. I guess I would lean slightly in favor of Jamar Chase because of situation, but once situation improves dramatically, and I think it will for Devontae, then I would probably say that I lean back to a tie. Whereas right now, it's going in the direction of Chase for redraft, Chase by a slim margin in Dynasty, just because of the situation looking so good. Mixon, Clyde without injuries. Clyde across the board. Clyde in redraft, Clyde in Dynasty. Not even really close for me. Mixon's failed you two times in a row. 2 years in a row. Are we really going to still buy into this guy? I mean, come on. Lamb or Cooper. Lamb. I mean, guys, look, this is opinion stuff. Anything's going to happen. Anything can't happen. Many things won't happen. Many things I say will happen won't happen. I'm not going to hit on everything. This could be one thing that I miss. The Deontay Johnson thing could be something that I miss. But Lamb, to me, is top 5 bound. Top 5 bound, broskies. Lamb is going to drop loads all over the field in 2021. And he's going to be a top 5 wide receiver. Cooper's still going to have a good year. Two people can eat at the wide receiver position in that offense. Dak will throw a ton. And that means that Cooper could outscore some wide receiver ones in fantasy football. So don't take away from this that I don't like Cooper at all, that he can't do. But it's Lamb season. It's Lamb season. Get ready for it. Shenault or Chark? Give me Chark because we all are 1 year, 1 calendar year, like less than 365 days removed from calling Chark a low-end wide receiver one. The fantasy football industry was in love with Chark, and I don't blame a single one of you out there if you're watching. I don't blame myself. I love Chark. I don't think we're wrong. Anything can happen, but Chark is definitely got the edge. But Chenault's good, man. But I think he could be a tiny bit more of a, I don't want to say gadget player, but I feel like Chark's more in the role that they need for that wide receiver that Lawrence is going to feed the ball consistently. Should I give up my future first for ETN? That's not what we're doing here, Justin. 2 names, throw them at me. To answer your question, depends where your first rounder is. If it's mid or later, then of course go get ETN. If it's going to be like 1.1 or something, then I don't know, bro. It's a closer call. Probably have to look at your entire situation. Marvin Jones. Yoda's in love with Marvin Jones. I mean, he's okay. He's okay, but I don't know if I'd be in love with him. Deontay or Ayuk. I'm gonna say tie for redraft because I love Ayuk, but they have a lot of mouths to feed. Julio Jones, we got to see if he lands in San Fran. For right now, I'm going to be cautiously optimistic about Ayuk, but definitely put him in the tie range right there, and Ayuk for the future. I'm not sold again on that Pittsburgh Steelers offense, the passing attack especially. I like the running game obviously, but the passing attack after 2021, I don't know what it's going to be like in 2022 and beyond. Give me Ayuk, who's got Trey Lance throwing the football. I don't think I'm crazy one single bit by saying Ayuk in Dynasty, and I'm giving Deontay enough respect to call him a tie in redraft. Higgins or Chase? Higgins or Chase, man. What do you mean Higgins? T. Higgins or Chase? Chase, bro. Chase by a lot. Redraft Dynasty, you name it. I like Higgins, but Chase is the alpha there. Chase has rapport. Chase has arguably more rapport with Burrow than Higgins does. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, bro? I mean, they played together in college. At least it's even Steven. Kyle Pitt, he probably has more because Burrow got hurt last year. Chase has played with him longer. Pitts or Waller, Dynasty, give me Pitts by a lot. Waller in redraft. Campbell or Pittman in both. Redraft and Dynasty, I like them. Chase, future wide receiver one, no debate. That's true, Grossman. Those are facts you're spitting out right now. Grossman's got facts available. Big Bub wants to know how can you like Saquon but not Mixon? It's the same situation. It doesn't make sense. Not true. Not true. Not the same situation. Mixon's failed you twice in a row. Barkley is an elite talent. Barkley left the NFL when he got hurt as the number 1 or number 2 overall pick. He's a special talent, and I think he's going to have one of those AP recoveries. You could argue that. I don't blame you for wanting to trade down, go wide receiver, and then go ahead and like draft Mixon later and go wide receiver. Like that's a whole different topic, but you can't say that I'm crazy when Barkley goes number 2 or 3 or 4 overall and Mixon goes in the 3rd round. Like clearly, there's a reason, bro. You can go Barkley over Mixon or like Barkley and not like Mixon. Why do you think they're like almost 2 rounds apart? This is the lowest ADP you will be able to get Chase at for the rest of his entire. Yeah, Chase is gonna ball, dude. Saquon failed once because of injury. It's the NFL, in my opinion. I know it's the same situation on a different scale. I don't know, man. I don't see it that way. You're talking about injury only. Like injury is the only thing you can compare and say, hey, one guy got hurt, one guy got hurt or gets hurt, or you're worried about injury or whatever. You got Galladay You got Barkley coming back. You got Danny Dimes probably looking a lot smoother and better in 2021. Giants are going to be much improved. Bengals will be much improved too. I get it if you want to kind of correlate those things and say both offenses will be better and open up the run a little bit with the pass, but I don't know that I'd call them the same situation because I don't see them as the same talent level. If you want to say, hey, both offenses will improve and we'll see them get more room to run, and then I'm on board with calling that similar. Sure. But they're not similar players, bro. Waddle or T. Higgins. Give me T. Higgins in redraft. Give me T. Higgins in Dynasty. I'm not sold on Waddle. Campbell or Pittman has said Pittman, Devontae Smith, or Curtis Samuel in Dynasty. Bro, come on. Justin, take a lap, bro. Justin, I want you to take a lap right now. Confirm when you're done. You honestly, Devontae Smith is like on my Dynasty rankings in my top 5 to 7. Curtis Samuel, I don't even know where he's going to be. Probably like 4 scrolls down on Dynasty on my rankings, bro. Like literally asking me, do I want a $1,000 check? Let's just say, let's keep it consistent. $1,000 in cash or a $5 bill. Take a lap, bro. But I still appreciate you. What's up, Tyler? Mostert or Edmonds? God, that's bad. I hope you're not starting either one of those guys, bro. Mostert initially, Edmonds maybe initially. Both of them not playing the second half of the season, bro. So tie. Mostert's older. Give me Edmonds in Dynasty barely, because Mostert's like an older back. I think 28, something like that. Davis or Mooney? Is it Gabe Davis or are you talking about Mike Davis? I think you mean Gabe Davis. You put Gabe Davis, Ian. I'm going to go Mooney, bro. Mooney by a lot. Mooney in redraft, Mooney in Dynasty. Ian, you want a breakout wide receiver from late in your draft? Mooney, bro. You draft Mooney as a wide receiver 4, and you put him into your lineup at some point. Mooney is going to ball. If they can get him the football, he will ball. I love Mooney a ton. Sermon's going to eventually be the starter. Bro, Mostert is the full-time starter. What are you talking about, Noah? Aaron Jones or Austin Eckler? I'm going to go Aaron Jones in both. I think Austin Eckler doesn't really have more time than Aaron Jones. If I had to like break this down, Dynasty redraft, I'm not worried that Aaron Jones can't have the same shelf life as Eckler. Eckler's not made to be a workhorse back, and they're going to use him kind of like a workhorse back. So therefore, I think he'll break down quickly, and who knows if he stays healthy for even a full year. I'll give him a year. I think Eckler's a pretty good bet in like 1 league, 2 leagues if you do like 5 leagues. But I'd rather have Aaron Jones in redraft, and because I'd rather have Aaron Jones in redraft a significant amount over Eckler until Eckler can prove differently to me, then I feel like I'm leaning Aaron Jones even in Dynasty. Saquon is Saquon, and Mixon is Mixon. Attaboy. Come on, Smitty. About what, bro? Bro, Mostert ain't losing the starting job. Okay, Noah. Noah, start a channel. All your opinions are different than mine. I get it. It almost is hard to even read your questions anymore. You can disagree with me all you want. Create your own channel. We'll see how it goes. But eventually, I will stop reading your questions, just so you know. So do what you want. Take that for what you want. I've told you about 100 times, you don't know how to be positive. You don't know how to be positive. And Noah, eventually, you won't get responses from me. It's just, eventually, it's going to get old. I'm going to say no, Noah. No to Noah. No. Let's see. Mostert is in a contract year and won't even be in San Fran next year. It's his voice of reason. Noah or the Grinch? Grinch. I think the Grinch would be a much more pleasant conversation. Order Devontae Smith, Pittman. Let's get back on track. 2 names. Throw 2 names at me. I tell you, redrafted Dynasty, who I like more. Let's get back focused on the topic at hand. 2 names. I'm not answering any questions that don't involve 2 names. Kyle, I'm sorry, doesn't qualify. Your comments don't qualify. McCoy, Diggs, D. Hopkins. Good job, McCoy. I'm going to go Diggs in Dynasty, Diggs in redraft. I think Hopkins can be as good, but I'm going to go Diggs as potentially top 1, 2, 3 overall. So I like Diggs a ton. Herbert, Rodgers redraft. Herbert. You're not asking redraft. You're asking both, Ryan. And the answer is Herbert, number 3 quarterback. Number 3 in redraft. So number 3 quarterback in Dynasty as well. Cooper, A-Rob. Give me. Oh, God. That's tough, bro. Give me A-Rob and redraft, Cooper and Dynasty. But I don't know that I could go back and forth on that one. Hurts or Lance in Dynasty. We're not doing Dynasty. We're doing both, voice of reason. Hurts in redraft only because we don't know when Lance will get in there. If Lance gets named starter week 1, I'm changing my vote there. But I'm going to say Dynasty Lance by a lot. Ryan or Burrow. Give me Burrow in both redraft and Dynasty. Although in redraft, it could be one of those things where I'm not giving Ryan enough respect because I think Pitts will eat. I think Ridley's going to be a top 5 wide receiver. Julio could still be relevant. I don't think he's going to be near a wide receiver 1 if he stays. But Ryan still probably deserves more respect, admittedly, than I'm giving him. But I still like Burrow in both. Akers or Metcalf in Dynasty. Give me Metcalf all day long. I draft Metcalf ahead of Akers myself. I know some people will disagree. That's fine. That's why we play the game. But redraft Dynasty, I'm going Metcalf. I'm not going Akers. I don't like Akers right at like that 12, 13. I take Akers lower. He won't fall. I probably won't own Akers, and that's fine. Not that I don't like him at like 18 to 20 overall, but he's not going to go there. That's where I would have Akers. That's where I would feel comfortable with built-in risk at 18. He's not falling. I'm not getting him. I'm not losing any sleep over it. I'd rather have A.J. Brown, Jefferson, Ridley, DK, A.J. Brown over Akers. I would. Pitts versus Logan Thomas. Man. You know, I want to say redraft Logan Thomas is safer, but I still want to go Pitts. I don't know if it's me being excited, but Dynasty, not even close. It's Pitts. Pitts all the way, baby. Pittman or Sutton in Dynasty. That's close, bro. And I got to answer both. I'm not doing Dynasty or redraft or Dynasty. I'm doing both. So stop saying Dynasty or redraft. I'm going to answer both. Pittman or Sutton. Sutton, but I do like Pittman. Hawkinson or Tunyon. Give me Tunyon in 2021. 11 TDs last year, number 4 tight end overall. Aaron Rodgers, I believe, will stay. If he doesn't, then I would definitely change it, maybe, probably. But Hawkinson, I predict he has a little bit of a little slip because I don't believe in Goff. I don't believe in the offense. I don't think they'll move the chains. I think it's going to be a 2-win season. No, thank you. Lamb or Jefferson in Dynasty, that is a tough one, but it's Jefferson in redraft and Dynasty. Javonte Williams, Damian Harris, give me Javonte Williams in redraft by a mile, and give me Javonte Williams over Damian Harris by 50,000 miles in Dynasty. Man, you're sleeping on Sutton. Man's a good player and pretty proven. But Bub, he's coming off an ACL tear. Not saying you can't do well coming off an ACL tear or whatever, but I don't think you're taking over anything that year. I'm not sleeping on a wide receiver coming off an ACL tear. Running back worries me too. Any player coming off an ACL tear worries me. Even Burrow worries me a little bit, but situation kind of matters. Barkley's situation is different. I would be worried about a lot of other players more than I am Barkley. I've talked about this before with his thigh strength. A lot of ACL recoveries are determined a lot by how much muscle you have wrapped around that knee, how much muscle you have, and how thick, how solid your quads are, your knee tightness before the injury actually happens and before the surgery. Recovery for him is going to be quite quicker. His atrophy, he won't have the atrophy other people will have. He won't have some of the issues that people have trusting the knee when they cut. That's a big part. A lot of the recovery that year one's mental. I've had a torn ACL, I've torn my meniscus, I've torn my MCL, my LCL, my patellar tendon, ripped it off my kneecap. I know a little bit about knee injuries, and I can tell you that Barkley worries me a lot less than even Sutton. Do you think Fields will be good? I'm iffy on him, but let's get back to the two players. Throw two at me. I'm going to skip all the questions that aren't following the formula here. Godwin, Cooper, Godwin, redraft and dynasty. But I worry about him a little like we worry about Odell, and if Odell's going to be able to put it together. But I'm going to go Godwin. I'm going to give him one more year in this scenario. Sanders or DeAndre Swift. Probably go Sanders, man. I don't trust that Detroit Lions rushing attack, the coaching staff, the offense moving the chains, getting first downs. I don't trust it at all. Chris Carson or Mixon. Give me Mixon. I think they're both around the same ADP for me, and I think Cincinnati opening up the pass will definitely help Mixon get some room to run. It's going to be all about staying healthy for Mixon. And I'm sorry, I still say Sanders. I was saying I like Mixon. That's tough, man. I don't know. I go back and forth on that. I'm even changing my answer as I'm talking. I say tie. Give me a tie. Because Mixon, I think if Mixon, this has got to be the year for Mixon. Mixon screws up this right here, you're never going to trust him again. But I think the reason I'm worried about Sanders is that I trust Sirianni very little. I trust that situation and the fact that he probably will get bumped out of some PPR work because Gainwell's a pretty good receiving back. I'm gonna go with Sanders maybe in Dynasty and Mixon in redraft or a tie. It's just tough, man. It's tough. I think those guys are right at the same ADP for me. Like even when I'm talking about them, I'm like disagreeing with myself. Steak or shrimp? I don't eat seafood at all. So steak, and steak's my favorite meal anyway. Dobbins, I'm sorry, Gibson or Clyde. Give me. You know what's weird? I like Clyde more than Gibson in both, but you can draft Clyde like literally a whole round or more sometimes later. So it's one of those things where I don't recommend anybody draft Clyde over Gibson. You trade down or you take a wide receiver, take like DK, take AJ Brown, and then draft Clyde in round 3. But what's up, Double A? Double A, I saw your comment and then you deleted it. Like I didn't care. I was kidding. I put a video up of my daughter and I said little Smitty is in the top 5% in height already. She's in the top 5% in height. I put 6, but I found out it was top 5. Top 5% in height. And Double A goes, your son, something about your son, and I said take a lap. That's my baby girl. But you're not alone because I put her in a lot of boy outfits. She's in a dragon suit. She was in a dragon suit. I even saw that comment. Miss Smitty saw the comment. Miss Smitty laughed and she goes, well, we did put her in a dragon suit. But little Smitty is freaking so tall, bro. She wears long pants and they're like almost to her knees. They're like capris. We can't buy little Smitty any kind of pants or onesies that have the feet in them. They literally, I'm kidding. Double A, it's fine. People do it all the time. You're not the only one that does it. We laugh about it, but because she doesn't have any hair either. She's like, it's got real fine hair. It was all red, and then it kind of like fell out, and it's kind of coming in reddish brown. We don't know. She was like a redhead coming out. But little Smitty is so tall, top 5%. I'm really proud of it. Top 5% in height. It literally, she wears capris, which are bought as pants, and we can't find anything that fits her. No, she blames me for what I put her in, but she does give me a lot of football outfits, Star Wars stuff, and little Smitty's always decked out in like Mandalorian and Star Wars, so a lot of people think she's a boy. But she's a damn cute kid though, so it doesn't offend me when someone says, "Oh, nice, handsome, handsome baby," wearing a Mandalorian outfit. Like it doesn't bother me, because I know she's adorable. Brady or Stafford, that could go. I could go either way. In Dynasty, I'd say Stafford. but not by a ton because Brady could play as long as, I mean, we don't know. But I'd say in redraft, I'll probably go Brady. Water boy or longest yard? Water boy. Does your wife play fantasy? If so, does she help? She doesn't play fantasy, but she does pick 'em. She likes doing the pick 'em, and she's really good. So I'm probably gonna have a segment if she's up for it, where she sits in a chair and I interview her, and she's real like she doesn't put up with shit, you know. And we'll ask her pick and then pick her brain, and she'll just like get mad at us and give us a pick. Like, I don't know, just think Green Bay's gonna win, okay? And so she'll do the pick 'em, and then you guys try and beat Miss Smitty or something. We'll come up with a whole like beat Miss Smitty, McCoy or Bryant Westbrook. You mean Brian Westbrook? They were both elite at their time. Probably a dead tie. Brady or Burrow? Burrow by a mile in Dynasty. I think Brady's safer in redraft. If you're in Dynasty though, I take Burrow. I'd contemplate taking Brady and like Trey Lance together, you know, in that kind of scenario. But I like Burrow. I think Burrow's gonna ball. I think Burrow could be top 6 quarterback. Hurts or Tua? Hurts in redraft, Hurts in Dynasty, Hurts all day long. I don't trust Tua for anything. Not that I trust Sirianni and the Eagles though. I mean, it's one of those things where we could be looking at a guy we believe in that they don't believe in, and they screw it all up, and maybe Tua plays more games because the Eagles they worry the hell out of me with Devontae Smith. That's why Chase even edges Devontae out, and I say that not happy about it because I love Devontae Smith. I had him ranked ahead of Chase by a little bit. I love them both, but Chase's situation's a lot safer. Swift or Jamal Williams? Even as down on Swift as I am, it's still Swift. Swift is a much, much, much superior talent to Jamal, but the fact that coaching staff, the OC views Jamal as the type 1 back and Swift is the speed type B back, it's not good news, man. It's not good news. I do believe the talent will eventually win out to get him more work, but will it win out enough in a very bad offense to get him enough? Like Mixon's talent wins out, right? What's Mixon been doing? Not a lot. So just because you have more talent doesn't mean you're gonna do anything if the chains aren't getting moved. You might win the job of a majority of the work in a really crappy offense. Who cares? Do I ever stream QBs? Not really, bro. Like I did 22 leagues last year, and I probably didn't stream one QB. That's why people call me an early QB drafter, but I'm also cultivating the next Mahomes. I'm the guy telling you who the next Mahomes is. I'm the guy telling you Josh Allen's going to be a top 4 quarterback his rookie year. When everybody doubted him, even coming out of his rookie year, what did people tell you? He can only run. No, I'm cultivating quarterbacks. That's probably my best wheelhouse. But I'm also drafting early being, Mahomes at 3.1, Josh Allen at 3.7, Herbert at 4.12 or 5.01 or 5.05. Like that's early QB shopping. Then I'm an early QB drafter. But I cultivate those next Mahomes, the next Josh Allens, like Trey Lance and Zach Wilson. I do believe in them. And then I eventually make a trade later on. You know what I mean? But I don't stream. I love having a solid quarterback to take me to the promised land. Cephas, wide receiver 1 next year? No. I mean, I like him, but no, I don't think so, bro. How did Mixon bust in 2019? He busted in 2020. Bro, Mixon didn't. I mean, I suppose. What did he finish like? Did he finish like 8th or 9th or 10th, something like that? He was still drafted higher than he finished. I guess you could say he didn't bust in 2019. He disappointed a little bit in 2019. So I should reword that. I'm sorry. He busted in 2020. Disappointed based on his ADP in 2019, but definitely didn't like bust. I shouldn't say that. You're right. Good call. Good call out. McLaurin or Godwin? Give me McLaurin in both redraft and Dynasty. Jared Cook or Jimmy Graham. Cook's going to be pretty good. I don't know if that's a knock at Cook, but Cook's gonna be pretty good if he gets the ball, if he's still got a little bit left. Kind of like Gronk. We didn't know what Gronk had, but we liked his situation. I love Cook's situation. Herbert feeding him the ball, but does he have anything left in the tank? We don't know. Evans or Galladay. Give me Evans, but that could be one I flip on later. I like Galladay a lot. He was a top 6 to 10 wide receiver breakout for me. I really thought that was going to end up being, an amazing year last year for him, and he just couldn't stay healthy. Then we don't even know if he was faking it to get out of a situation, but I don't know, bro. Godwin going to be Dookie this year, says McCoy. A lot of people are low on Galladay. They're a little too low on Galladay. Galladay's got a lot of upside, a lot of appeal, a lot of potential, a little bit of risk. Moving teams is never a really good thing for any wide receiver. I mean, clearly Hopkins did well with it. There have been wide receivers, especially last year, that moved, that did okay. But overall, it's not the best recipe for having no stumbles or stutter steps or roadblocks initially. And I think it's safe to assume that we could be looking at a potential inconsistent beginning, and then Godwin finished really strong. But Evans has been the prototypical 1,000-yard every year receiver. Imagine if he's healthy. He was hurt kind of all year. He plays hurt, always plays hurt. I don't know if that's good long term, but he stays on the field. Is it bad you're falling for Odell again? Probably, bro. Pollard or AJ Dillon? I like both, man. You got to own both these guys. They're super handcuffs, as I've coined in the industry. Super handcuff means that they're a handcuff that can win you a league if your starter still goes down. You can still continue on with near the same production. Pollard would be pretty close to Zeke Elliott numbers if getting all the carries, and he did get injected into the lineup. Madison would definitely be a little notch below Cook, but he would still produce running back one numbers. Lat Murray, we'll see if Lat Murray can hang on to that super handcuff title. Sermon's got that super handcuff title for now until he becomes the starter. Then he won't be a handcuff anymore. Dillon is definitely in the super handcuff category. There are only about 5 of them in fantasy football. Super handcuffs that stand alone, have win a league value, and if cuffed to the starter by the guy or girl that owns the starter, can save their season if that player goes down. Higbee, I like a little bit. I think he'll potentially get targeted by Stafford quite a bit. Look how good Hawkinson did. Love Tunyon. I don't know what the question was about Tunyon though. Terrence Marshall. I like Terrence Marshall, but what's the question? DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson. I don't know I know Robbie Anderson does well. It's one of those things where he historically, he's got good stats and like there's good data behind him. But I really feel like DJ Moore is the easy, like I'm not even sure how the question is being asked, but then again, anything can happen. But DJ Moore could be a low-end wide receiver 1. Someone yelling over there. Elijah Moore or Mims? Give me, I don't know. That's a tough one. I'd say tie for now, but I think that Mims could be special still, but Moore could be special too. We got to see who becomes that alpha there. But I like Mims a lot. I think people shouldn't write off Mims. Maybe say Mims in redraft, and then we'll lean Elijah Moore for Dynasty. Waddle or Julio. Give me Julio in redraft. Give me Waddle in Dynasty because we don't know what Julio is going to even be doing a year from now. Mike Davis redraft, ETN Dynasty. I guess that was a question of both. So I'm going to say ETN barely in redraft and ETN for sure in Dynasty. But I could very well sway myself into Mike Davis in redraft. I think people are very undervaluing this guy. I thought that internet photo would hype up Davis quite a bit more than it did. But apparently people are still doubting the hell out of him. So I don't know. Mike Davis is safer in redraft. Thoughts on Bills running backs. So your question, you want to say 2 running backs. You can say Zach Moss or Singletary. Give me Moss in both Dynasty and redraft. I love. Yeah, the clown is saying he's the only one high on Najee. I love that. You know what I love is I think he uses old ADP data that doesn't reflect Woodle. Woodle. Yeah, the clown doesn't. He uses ADP data that's been like collecting all off season without the rookies, and then when they throw the rookies into it, and then you collect the data from back in December or January, it has Harris ranked at like the consensus rankings have him like at I don't know like 40 or something, which we know is not true. It's just the data hasn't been updated, and he says everybody's ranking him there. Like everyone's high on Harris, bro. Like Harris is going to be in August when the ADPs catch up and people start seeing it, then they vault him and vault him. Harris will be taken at 14 and 15 overall. 14 and 15 overall, bro. In redraft, he will go in the top 15. Maybe he falls to 18 here and there, but top 15 guy. And in Dynasty, he's a first rounder. So, no, he's not the first person to like the number 1 running back coming out of college that's a potential top 5 running back for the future, acting like no one else is high on him. It's hilarious, bro. Yeah, Ian, I don't know what to say about that. All right, might be here. Last couple questions here. Can we hit the thumbs up? Like literally, 30 to 50 people popping in and out, and you guys can punch that thumbs up and help the channel. Help me help you. Help me help you. I'm out here in the middle of the night for my night crew. I'm doing a lot more day stuff, but I'm out here for you guys. So it helps me help you if you can help me. Punch the thumbs up. Let's try and get it even to the viewers so that we can get this channel on the map, bro. We need to get this channel on the map. We need to get this channel cooking in 2021. We need to get not to 10K so that not to 10K so that I can just have 10K and say, oh, I got to a certain number. Like I care about the number. I care about the channel growth because it creates opportunity. It creates more opportunity so I can do less of my other stuff and do more videos. Because believe it or not, I've got a whole bunch of fires burning. And if the video platform, if the video content gets bigger and bigger and bigger, I'm going to let go a lot of the other crap that I got to deal with because I'll be doing a lot better in this realm, and that will free up my time to do more video content. So it's helping you by helping me. So punch the thumbs up. There's still 10 of you in here that haven't done it. It helps Smitty out. Smitty, my 2021 first. Oh, no, my 21st is Wednesday. What are some good drinks? Oh, I thought you were trying to tell me about your 2021 first rounder. You're turning 21. I don't drink, bro. I don't drink. Believe it or not, people think I'm hopped up on something, but I'm just I get hopped up on fantasy, bro. Where are we at? Akers or Gibson? You guys aren't gonna like this, but like Gibson more than Akers. I just do. I don't blame anybody for liking Akers over Gibson. I just like Gibson more than Akers. I think it's close enough that nobody can be throwing any shade at me because I like freaking Gibson, a guy that can be a top 6 to 10 running back over a guy that can be a top 6 to 10 running back. Like we're talking about 2 guys that have the potential to be a top 6 to 10 running back. Nothing wrong with anybody liking either one over the other. I like Gibson. How would you switch from a standard to a super flex league? Bro, you got to start a new league. I think when commissioners flip the switch and do something crazy like that, you ruin the league, especially if you do it from a selfish place. Like ask yourself, am I doing this because I have a good quarterback? Am I doing this because I have 2 good quarterbacks on my bench? Honestly, answer that question. Answer that question, bro. I'm not trying to go at you. I'm just trying to like hit you with some truth. Do you have two good quarterbacks that would benefit you on that? If the answer is no, then you're a good commissioner just trying to make a league better. But I think you got to start a whole new league, do a whole new redraft. You can't put people in a position where they haven't been preparing for that. They get outvoted. It's literally got to be, to make a change from a non-superflex to a superflex, in my opinion, it should have unanimous votes, 12 out of 12, 14 out of 14, minimum one no. Like 10% of the league at max can say no. And then guess what? They're probably going to leave. Like, that is a crazy transition. And if you do that, my advice to you, bro, would be to let everybody keep, if it's a keeper league, let everybody keep. Now, you can't even do that because somebody has a quarterback they want to keep. I was going to say, let everybody keep, if you're keeping two players, non-quarterbacks, so that all the quarterbacks got thrown in. Then you do a randomization of the draft order, and everybody's got a fair shot at a quarterback. But what if someone wants to keep a quarterback? Wow, Smitty, you've heard so much about acres that you have to go easy. What? I don't know what that means. Voice of reason. Clarify for that. I don't know what that means. Is Jamal Williams going to start in Detroit? Bro, anybody tells you that no, he won't, they're a Swift owner. I don't think he will. I think Swift will be the starter. But could Jamal Williams be on the field with the first snap and be starter in name? Absolutely could happen. But will Swift get more overall volume? I think so. But, bro, the OC, Lynn, called Swift his B back. And he called Jamal his A back. You don't start your B back and give your B back more work than your A back. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Does Newsom or Anthony Miller, or I'm disliking the video? First of all, Isaac, that's really rude of you. Number two, because this is how I roll, I'm going to answer your question. Newsom. It seems like if you say something bad about Akers, it will hurt a lot of feelings. Oh, I got you. It does. It does hurt a lot of feelings. People get really mad. I guess I preface it too much. Williams is a sleeper then, Raphael says. Yeah, I mean, I don't know about sleeper, bro. Like, Raphael, I don't know if you heard what I said, but I told you that Detroit's not moving the football, bro. Detroit ain't moving the football. Detroit ain't getting a first round, bro. So therefore, drafting any Detroit player ain't going to get you shit. Isaac, thank you. I appreciate it, Isaac. You threatened and blackmailed me into giving you an answer, but I still appreciate you. Kind of. No, I do. Yeah, so Williams ain't a sleeper, bro. Jamal Williams ain't a sleeper. Like, no one's a sleeper on that team. Earliest you'd take Devontae Smith in a redraft. That's a great question. I don't think I take him anywhere in like the high wide receiver 3 category, but he could definitely play like a wide receiver 3 as a rookie. He could have one of those like 1,000 yard 17 seasons. He could definitely be a wide receiver 3. He's going to be electric for the future. That's a good year for a rookie. Lamb didn't have 1,000 yards, and he had a quarterback carousel going on in Dallas. But Lamb looked really good as a rookie. I think Devontae can look that good. I think Chase can look as good as Jefferson did, just a little bit different stat line, balanced out a little bit different. Dobbins or Chubb. I mean, you draft Chubb higher, you trade Chubb higher. Chubb's got more value across the board. In Dynasty, I like Dobbins more, so Dynasty Dobbins, but I don't know if you can draft him later and, make sure you understand the difference in value there. But Chubb probably in redraft, if not just for trade value. Like, I'd rather trade Chubb. You know what the best trade is for Nick Chubb? Trade Nick Chubb. If you draft him in round 1, trade Nick Chubb for Clyde Edwards-Helaire and a big wide receiver bump. I'm talking about, like, get Lamb and Clyde Edwards-Helaire for Chubb and a wide receiver way below Lamb. That's how, because I think Clyde is going to be as good as Chubb in a sense. I do. I don't care if that hurts feelings. Voice of reason. I don't need to justify it. Right? Right, voice? I'll just say how I feel. But I think I go after a Clyde and a Lamb. I do something crazy like that, bro. I love it. This offseason taking forever. Noah. Signed, Noah. Noah doesn't even know he's negative about everything he does. He probably thinks that's not negative. Noah, I want you to say 8 positive things in a row. Is it possible, Noah? Is it possible? 8 of them, bro. Not the same comment. Literally 8 genuine positive things. Not, hey, this show's okay, Smitty. Freaking Noah. Chase Edmonds or a Shart? I don't know, bro. I don't know. That's a close one. Dobbins and Akers. Raphael says, no, I don't know what you're responding to, but I'd take that with a grain of salt right now until we figure out if Noah can be positive about anybody. Chubb and Dobbins. I already got that to that one. Ruggs late round sleeper, maybe. I don't hate that. Thoughts on Bateman? I don't know, bro. I mean, Bateman could be the wide receiver 1 there in time, but Hollywood Brown's not garbage. And everybody thinks he is. And everybody doesn't realize that it's not Hollywood Brown, bro. Everyone's so quick to say they know why there's no wide receiver 1 in Baltimore. Everybody's so quick to judge Hollywood Brown because he didn't produce. It has to be his fault. And the bottom line is, bro, Lamar Jackson is a really amazing running quarterback. He's a mediocre passing quarterback, and he can't turn anybody into a consistent option. Look what he did to Mark Andrews. Murray or Allen? Josh Allen's my number 2 quarterback across the board, redraft and Dynasty. Rondell Moore or Tony in Dynasty? Give me Rondell Moore. It's not that I don't like Tony, but give me Rondell Moore. Is Connor a Shart? Yeah, I'd probably classify him as a Shart. Ruggs is on the borderline of a Shart. Best destination for Julio fantasy-wise? Staying put. You know what you got. You know what you're getting. He's got the rapport with Ryan. He's been doing it with Ryan. One of the most dangerous combinations for a while. Like, honestly, it's the best option for him to stay put. Moving teams is not going to be good for an older receiver that we already feel like could be on the verge of a steep decline. Not a little decline, like a pretty steep fall off. Rondell Moore, Elijah Moore. Give me Rondell Moore. Rondell Moore is quietly my number 3 wide receiver in Dynasty for the rookies. Out of all the rookie receivers, he's quietly my number 3. I think he squats 600 pounds. He has a 42-ish inch vertical. He is a smart kid that got a 4-year degree in 2.5 years, taking 27 credit hours in his final semester. 27 credit hours in his final semester while playing football. And he runs a 4.29. Dude's electric. Dude's elite. Dude's like a refrigerator, like a mini fridge. It's 180, 185. Probably bulk up another 5 pounds. Probably play at 190 in the pros. 190, 192 at 5'7". He's impossible to tackle. Low center of gravity. Runs a lot of jet sweeps and looks a lot like Tyreek Hill meets Antonio Brown. He'll be impossible to cover, impossible to get your hands on, impossible to cover in press coverage. He'll slice and dice the defense across the middle and run jet sweeps that I mentioned, run jet sweeps like Tyreek Hill. I really, really like Rondell Moore. He is easily creeping into my rookie number 3 wide receiver spot. Could James Robinson, Travis Etienne be dollar general versions of Ingram and Kamara? Could be, bro. I honestly don't know what to make right now. I know it's a good football move to have Etienne there, but I don't know what they're going to do, how they're going to use him. I'd be lying if I felt 100% saying I felt 100% confident that I knew what was going on there. I don't. Thoughts on Terrence Marshall in Dynasty? He's okay. Optimistic that he can do pretty well. I like Bateman over Rondell Moore. In your opinion, Trey? Uh, uh, Trey, I don't know. That's what you want me to call you. It's hard to say. Like, trust your gut. Chiefs can afford Julio, maybe, bro. You can move money around in 100 different ways, man. They can figure it out. If they want Julio, they'll figure it out, bro. I'm staying away from Waddle and redraft. I am too. But, Chiefs definitely have an obstacle to get Julio. But I wouldn't put it past them figuring it out. Keep in mind that the Chiefs were in offensive line trouble that people said they wouldn't get out of. Like it's gonna be impossible for them to get out of this offensive line situation. What did they do? They got out of it in a jiffy, in a snap. They were geniuses in terms of how they got a new offensive line like that, bro. If you think they can't figure out something to get Julio, keep in mind too that if Julio really wants to go somewhere, he'll reconstruct his contract. You know what I mean? He can do a renegotiation, like an extension, a sign an extension type of thing, where he can be affordable. You know what I mean? So the Chiefs, if he really wants to go to KC, he'll be willing to do something like that, bro. Austin says my Cardinals are looking nasty. My Cardinals do look pretty sick right now. Defense is so much improved, bro. Oh, we got our underrated defense, and then on top of that, we got a freaking offensive weapons galore. Thoughts on Jay Hawkinson? Detroit has no real receiving options. Yeah, that isn't always a good thing, Floyd. Isn't always a good thing, because they're not going to move the chains. They're not going to get the red zone as much. I think Hawkinson has a really down year. He's got to build rapport with a new quarterback. Remember, Stafford made him, and there was a big reason why I loved him, and he was a top 12 bowl prediction for me. No one liked Hawkinson more than I did on record, bro. And I'm not buying this year at what will probably be a pretty high ADP, because he's got to build new rapport with a quarterback and an offense that won't move the football. I don't care if they're down a lot throwing. You got to get first downs in the third and fourth quarter for it to matter that you're throwing a lot in the third and fourth quarter. Defenses, I mean, top three. What do you guys think? Let's get a consensus in here. Top three defenses. I mean, Rams are going to be in the top three. Niners, I think, could be in the top three. Tampa could be in the top. There are a lot of teams that could be in the top three defensive wise. I think last year I told you that Tampa Bay was my sleeper defense, and that sounds so obvious now because they had good personnel and they weren't putting it together, but they were still very undervalued, very undervalued. And I think that Tampa Bay, there are a couple teams this year. What's up, my Cowboys? There are a couple teams this year that have a really, really, really sneaky good improved defense, and I think the Cardinals are one of them. I really do believe that. What's up, Jake? Steelers are up there, but I don't know that they're in. Yeah, I'd say Washington's locked in there to the top 5 probably soon. Yeah, let's do a collab soon. Would you ever join a league that all week one starting quarterbacks are taken out of the player pool for the whole year, but you still have to start one QB? I don't even know what the hell that even means, bro. Take out of the player pool all week one. I don't know. It just seems like a messy thing to prepare for. You know what I mean? Like, feels like something the commission would cook up because he's played in it before. You know what I mean? Nobody else has, so he's got a huge advantage. Like, I don't understand that at all. Deontay or Judy in Dynasty. Justin, we had a debate about this earlier, or at least I had a debate with myself. I was yelling at the screen, even though no one was really yelling back at first. But then Deontay votes started piling in. Judy for me. Judy in redraft. Judy in Dynasty. This guy is called one of the best route runners, if not the best route runner in the NFL. And people that hate him are going to say that's not true, or they don't take everyone's advice to heart. Like, I get it, man. I mean, but Jerry Jeudy is an elite route runner. Not that Deontay can't run routes too. They both struggle with drops. I mean, you can make arguments left and right. I'm not mad at anybody for liking Deontay, but you can't be upset with me if I say by a mile I want Jerry Jeudy. That's how I feel. And I could be wrong. I could be wrong like I was wrong about Kenyon Drake last year. I could be reading the situation wrong. I'm going to miss on a handful of things in 2021 because I predict 1,000 things over, more than 1,000, several thousand things I predict a year, maybe 10,000 things I predict a year. I'm going to get shit wrong. But Judy, to me, I get that warm and fuzzy feeling when I see him run a route. I'm like Chad Ochocinco about to shed a tear when I see a little route run by Jerry Judy. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Pollard or who? What's up, Seclan? Oh, Pollard or Edmonds? Pollard, bro. Pollard, bro. Teddy will start in Denver, says Voice of Reason. God, I hope they get A-Rod somehow. Can you imagine? All of you doubting Jerry Judy are going to say, if A-Rod does land in Denver, you're going to say, well, I am on board now. I've been on board. I was in the back of the train. You would make Jerry Judy a top 5 wide receiver. I'm downtown Phoenix, bro. Probably like a couple miles where you used to be. Noah Fant, top 5 soon, says Noah. That could happen. Please play the clown in a game of chess or something and shut that fool up. Ali, I've been trying to box him for charity for over a year and a half now. He challenged the entire industry. He said, I'll fight any analyst, any sheep analyst. I'll fight him right now. They're all scared to box me. He said that, and I raised my hand immediately. I made about 10 videos, about 10 Twitter posts, about 10 this, 10 that, Instagram, calls of action, went live streamed, had people tell him, hey, I know you block Smitty, but he'll box you for charity. And he ran and got his juice box and crawled under a desk and got scared. Thank you, Seclan. With or without A-Rod, but more with Teddy than Locke. I agree, boys. We need Judy to have Teddy probably. Although I hope something else happens, man. I really, really hope they find a way to upgrade that quarterback room. All right, I think I'm out of here. Can we at least get the thumbs up to match the people watching? There are 4 of you that could punch and help the channel grow. Yeah, Locke makes me want to throw up too. Bro, he makes me want to throw up too. He ain't it. Locke ain't it. I told you guys all that Locke was going to be a bust, and I don't know. There were a lot of people that hated that take about a year ago. Thank you, Double A. And Double A, seriously, man, you'd have to delete your comment. It was a totally common thing. I put little Smitty in Mandalorian outfits all the time, and she doesn't have her luscious locks yet, so people think she's a handsome little boy all the time. She's a tall little thing, bro. She's going to be dunking a basketball soon. Counselor is more scared of you, Smitty, than Lev Bell. Bro, Counselor would run for the hills. I've even gone out there, and I've said this to every analyst. I put out a tweet. I said, if the Counselor challenges any of you to a celebrity boxing match, I gift every analyst in the entire fantasy football industry a get-out-of-fight-free card. Smitty is my proxy. Smitty's my champion like Game of Thrones. I will box in any analyst place that gets challenged by the Counselor. They can present the card anytime he challenges. If he goes, hey, Matthew Berry, I challenge you, he can say, challenge accepted. And Smitty will fight in my stead. And then I will come around with my cape on and my pimp cane, and I'll walk up to the stage, bro, and I'll be like, let's go, boy. And I'll look down at his 5'8" stature and say, son, I don't know if you're in my weight class, but I could drop a couple LBs. I could probably get into the 195 range so that him and I are at least, actually, he's probably heavier than me, even at 5'8". But we take him out. Which football players have you interacted with previously? I went live with AJ Brown, and we had a good conversation. I've gone live with a lot of and interviewed a lot of people. You pay $650 for that, bro. Come on. That would be But Smitty, he invented running backs. He invented the running back position in fantasy. Oh man, that fool would run from me so fast, bro. He's got way more boxing training than me. His video's out there, by the way. You can search for it. His first MMA fight, he tapped out right away. Smitty, you're not scared of being out this late? No, it's a clan. Look at it. I got you guys watching my back. You're watching my 6. I don't need nobody. I've been held up before. I've been hog-tied and thrown in the back of a Federale car in Tijuana. I've been challenged by an entire football team my freshman year when I was working in a fast food restaurant to fight in the middle of a parking lot, and I weaseled my way out of that before I got big enough to box. I needed a counselor back then. I was 5-foot freshman getting challenged to box, getting challenged to fight, street fight, an entire football team because I mouthed back at him, my little 5-foot scrawny little self back as a freshman. I was short until the counselor's chance to box me was when I was a freshman, sophomore, and junior in high school because I wasn't tall. I wasn't tall at all. I didn't grow until my late junior year. I went from 5'2" to like 5'4". I entered junior year. I went from 5'4" to like 5'5", and then at the end of the year, I went to like 5'10", and I grew to 6 foot. And then at college, I grew to 6'2". I grew late, man. I didn't have a single bit of chest hair until I was in college. I was like, I don't know what I was on. I was on a delayed kind of plan, delayed reaction plan. That's when he had a shot to beat me up. He could have tried to take me when I was shorter than him. The police do pull the counselor over. Counselor pulls the police over. Am I a sheep or a lion? I cook lions for breakfast. The modern day Van Damme. I'm not that flexible, bro. I can't kick up above my neck. But I can. If I'm challenged to a celebrity boxing match and I have 6 months to prepare, I will get myself into Jean-Claude Van Damme splits. I'll progress in the split thing. I don't think I could probably do the splits ever, but what are the odds? I don't know what the odds would be against the counselor. I think people would just like take sides. Like his people would take his side, my people would take my side. But I think once we did the weigh-in and people saw, him like right here and me right here, and then they were like, oh, shit. We've tried to make it happen, Grossman. It won't happen. He blocked me. He blocks anybody that mentions it. If you go and mention it, he'll block you immediately. He doesn't want it to be out there. I feel like you hang out at this mall every week. But Smitty, the counselor, thinks David Johnson's going to be... Smitty, you want to get milkshakes at the yard in downtown Cityscape apartment. Probably not right now. We'll meet up sometime, bro, and we'll hang out sometime. Right now, I think it's still a little weird with COVID. With a newborn and stuff, we're still being a little bit cautious on that stuff. So I know people don't believe in it. I know Noah's going to come in here and go, "You don't really believe in COVID still, do you?" Smitty, you want to get... Oh, wait, I got that one. Snoop Dogg will sponsor the... Dude, I would love Snoop Dogg to sponsor the fight. It would be a pretty big deal, too. Like, the counselor would be smart to accept my challenge because it would be a very hyped across the entire fantasy industry. It would be the most hyped event that's ever taken place in fantasy football, sports, and news. Like if the counselor versus Smitty boxing match, it would be so hyped up. People would be... He's got so many people that are tired of him bashing the entire industry and every player. He bashes players constantly. He wants to fight players constantly. He calls every player in the book, sucky. And he goes after Lev Bell. He goes after Eckler. Eckler's a great dude. Eckler's an amazing dude, and he goes at Eckler and treats him with disrespect. The industry would applaud me. I'd have the entire industry in my corner because everybody would love to see this guy be get shut up in a celebrity boxing match. People would just be ecstatic. People would fly out to wherever this event was. People would donate, so that the charity of choice would get an amazing. He'd probably choose some charity too that benefited, I don't know, something weird, like early running back drafting. I don't know. I would choose Toys for Tots or the like some kind of Phoenix Children's Hospital is what I would do. And I've tried to make this happen. I've tried. I mean, you guys can try. I've tried. It's impossible because he'll block you the moment you mention it, and he just literally won't answer. He just won't answer. He won't. Anyway. All right, guys. Didn't the counselor go after the? Yeah, he goes after the footballers. He goes after Matthew Berry. So I've extended that I will be your champion to the ballers. I've extended it to Matthew Berry. I've extended to every analyst in the industry. I've announced it on Twitter that if the counselor challenges you to a celebrity boxing match, accept it, and then I will box in your place for charity. I will take on the counselor for you. There you go. The counselors predict a lot of goods. Oh my God, that's one of the worst things you've ever said. His one positive thing is about how the counselors predicted. I almost fell down. How the counselors predicted good stuff. Oh my God, Noah. When I say positive things, I didn't mean lie. Noah. I meant be honest. Oh God, that's good. There's some more would work. The counselor over. Yeah, I mean, I don't know about more, bro. I don't think he looks like a very big scrapper. You know, I think the Hitman would be a little better off scrapping. But I would fight in their stead. They wouldn't have to box for the celebrity boxing match. I would take their place. I would take any one of their places. Um, and anybody that gets challenged by them, I want them to accept it and then turn and say, okay, I accept your challenge. Smitty will fight in my stead for the celebrity boxing match. All right, enough of that. Last question. Somebody give me a final fantasy football question. A final good one. The best fantasy football question you can come up with right now. Hit me with it. I want to close this thing out right. Let's go. No one's got anything? All right, I'm out of here. You guys are still talking about celebrity boxing. Let's go. Last final question. I want to kick the show off or end the show on a very good note. Later, Double A. What Steelers wide receiver are you taking first? Claypool. Antonio Brown versus Julio. Tied. Who will lead the league in receiving yards? Damn, that's a good one. Justin Jefferson. And I'm out of here. I appreciate all of you. Hit the thumbs up on the way out the door. And then when this video posts, comment, and I will respond to you. I will see you.